Beneath the restless waves, where sunlight turns to whispers and color fades into the blue unknown, lived an octopus named Taru. The sea was his kingdom, a shifting world of coral castles and hidden tunnels where every shadow could mean friend or foe. Taru was unlike the other creatures, who moved with simple purpose. He carried within him not one heart, but three, a triad of life beating quietly in the deep. Two pulsed beside his gills, sending blue-green blood through his body, while the third, his main heart, rested silently whenever he swam. It was nature's strange design. When motion began, one heart paused to let the others work harder. To live, Taru had to accept that part of him must stop, even if only for a moment. He didn't understand it, of course, not in the way humans would, but he could feel it. Each time he darted away from danger, a passing shark, a hungry eel, a careless net, he felt the pause, a quiet stillness deep inside him, as though one of his hearts refused to follow. And yet every time he stopped to rest, that silent heart would awaken again, thudding gently in rhythm with the sea. It was as if the ocean itself was his pulse, stopping, starting, breathing through him. Taru lived in a reef older than memory, a place where even the currents seemed to move with purpose. He loved to explore, changing his color and texture to mimic shells, coral, and rock. He could become invisible in plain sight, a magician of the deep. But his favorite thing was to watch the silver schools of fish drift by, each one following another, moving as one shimmering mind. Sometimes he wondered what it would feel like to belong, to swim without fear, to trust the current instead of fighting it. One day, a storm arrived. The waves raged, throwing sand and coral like shards of glass. The sea grew black with anger, and Taru hid beneath a rock ledge, his heart racing in uneven rhythm. When the storm passed, the reef he knew was broken. Coral shattered, tunnels collapsed. The familiar home was gone. The silence that followed felt heavier than the storm itself. For the first time, Taru felt truly alone. He began to swim toward the open sea, the vast place beyond the reef that no octopus dared to wander. And as he moved, his main heart stopped again. He could feel it, that moment of stillness, that suspension of self. But this time it felt different. Not frightening, but freeing. In that quiet gap between beats, the world seemed to expand. He drifted through forests of kelp that swayed like green cathedrals, past ancient rocks where sea turtles slept. Every color shimmered differently here, painted by faint light from above. The ocean was not empty. It was alive in a million unseen ways. As he explored deeper, Taru encountered a wounded turtle caught in a web of discarded fishing line. Her shell was cracked, her eyes dim with exhaustion. Without thinking, Taru reached out his curling arms and began to pull the lines apart. He worked slowly, carefully, using all 8 limbs like artists' brushes, untying knots that seemed impossible. The turtle remained still, trusting him. When at last the final loop broke free, the turtle rose gently toward the light, leaving Taru alone again, but not empty. In that instant, one of his smaller hearts beat faster, stronger, almost proud. Days turned into weeks. Taru learned to hunt in open water, to dance with the currents instead of hiding from them. He discovered that courage was not the absence of fear, but the rhythm that continued between his hearts, the steady truth that even when one heart stopped, the others carried on. He began to understand his strange design. It was a reminder that movement required sacrifice, that life was a constant trade between stillness and motion. Sometimes he would return to the broken reef, now silent and pale, and rest among the ruins. There, his main heart would begin to beat again, slow and deep, echoing through the hollow coral. In that sound was memory, of storms survived, of lives touched, of the vastness he had faced. The ocean no longer seemed endless. It felt connected, like a single living being breathing through him. Far above, humans sailed across the same waters, unaware of the small creature beneath who lived with 3 hearts and infinite courage. To them, the ocean was just a map of coordinates. But down below, Taru's story continued, a quiet heartbeat pulsing against the tide. Each time he swam, one heart rested. Each time he stopped, it returned. And so the rhythm of life went on. Pause, beat, breathe. A dance only the ocean could understand. Some say that if you dive deep enough past where sunlight ends and darkness begins, you can feel it too. That faint thump beneath your hand when you press it against the water. The heart of the sea itself, beating in sync with a small octopus who learned that even when part of you must rest, the rest can carry you forward. 3 hearts, 1 life, a miracle of quiet endurance beneath the waves.